making song.
Now
Yes.
it's on.
Yes, yes.
Hello. Hello, Nidhi madam. It is already 6:30. Hello, Dr. Nidhi. Are you there?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ashna ma'am. Nidhi ma'am. Shruti
Yes.
ma'am.
Good evening.
Nirmala ma'am.
Hello.
Should I now? It's 6:30 already.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I think
Yes.
Racha ma'am is going to start it.
Okay, okay. It's good. Good, good. Yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Apurva. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you?
I am also good. Should we wait for 1 or 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Ashna,
Yes. Yes, please. Yes. I think Archa madam will join very soon.
Actually, exams are going on now. Oh, people are busy here. They are in this shift, that shift, like that.
Yes.
That's very true.
Dr. Nidhi, please call Archa madam.
yes, ma'am. I just called her.
I think we can start if the speaker has come.
As you wish, ma'am. Or if we need to wait, then I don't mind if someone.
Ma'am, Gacha ma'am is unable to join due to some technical glitch. She's trying.
Yes. So I am starting. Okay. Should I start now?
Ma'am, I think she is also joining.
Okay.
She is going to. She has joined, ma'am.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am. Gacha ma'am, good evening. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes. You are audible, madam.
Ma'am,
Please.
Hello, a very warm welcome to all the August gathering today, and especially our dignitaries who are here on this platform of iSpill. I'm sorry for joining late, but since I was on duty in the third shift examination, I couldn't make it on time. So it's indeed a great pleasure to have so many eminent speakers here today. And as about iSpill, it was started by the like-minded fraternity like Ghanshyam sir and many more like him at a very dark period of history. But then, when there is dark, there's always uh, a rainbow. So the establishment of iSpill came as a rainbow in the dark cloud, and it was like a silver lining, and it emerged to elevate and facilitate the fraternity members, the faculty, the research scholars, students, and those interested in English language and literature. And since then, it has marched forward, arranging an array of academic events, be it national and international e-seminars and webinars, value-added courses, and many other programs which are greatly beneficial for the students as well as for the English language fraternity. Chhattisgarh Forum was the first forum to emerge of this national level organization, and it has spread its wing to many other states also. And every Saturday of the month earlier, iSpill CG Forum was organizing event for the students, be it PG student or the UG students. And now, considering the clash of dates with different other forums, we have decided to stick to 2 events a week in a month, and we have 2 Saturday intellectual meets every month. And and this month we are here to deliberate on a very, very relevant topic, a roadmap to effective communication, which will not only enlighten the fraternity and the students. I hope I'm audible now.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I'm getting, due to there's certain network issues, and the video again is not visible. Anyways, so today we have with us as speaker Dr. Shruti Jha, AP Department of English, Chandrapal, Datsena Government College, Pithora, Raipur. And on the chair, we have the honor to have Mrs. Nirmala Haidar, AP Department of English, SNA, Government Arts and Science College, Koka, Tilda Neora, Raipur, and to roadmap the event, we have the moderator, Apurva Dhara Nag. She's a PG student, Department of English, Government JYCG College, Raipur. And the coordinator of this month happens to be Dr. Nidhi Gupta, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government GNA PG College, Bhattapara. Dr. Nidhi Gupta is an Assistant Professor of English, as I said, and her qualifications are MA, MP Slate, PGDCA, B.Ed, MPhil, and PhD. And the teaching experience spans about 18 years, and she has to her credit a number of national and international publications, and she has also presented papers in national and international seminars and conferences, which amounts to 24 in number. And she has attended about 16 workshops and 15 FDPs also for capacity building. And the title and specialization of her thesis was a subjective account of modern India in the novels of Aravinda Adiga. She also happens to be the coordinator of this month, and she has also chaired the session in ISPEL literary event Sunday Sahityak Satsang on narratives, a pathway to constructive assessment in language and literature. She has acted as a resource person in a value-added course by Chhattisgarh College from 21st January 2023 to 2nd February 2023. She has also acted as a coordinator for various events, and this year she is the coordinator of ISPEL Saturday Intellectual Meet. Such a dynamic personality we have with us. So without much ado, I would hand over the platform to Nidhi Gupta. Nidhi Gupta, over to you, ma'am. And once again, I have my humble apologies for joining late. But as I told you, I couldn't connect due to some technical issues. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you. Nidhi ma'am. Nidhi ma'am. Nidhi ma'am, over to you. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
you are audible. But I
Uh,
think Nidhi must have some problem. So you should please invite the master of ceremonies of today's session, Apurva.
okay,
Now.
fine.
Yes.
May I invite Apurva ma'am?
Nidhi ma'am.
Yes.
Nidhi has joined.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Nidhi. Yes. Yes, you are audible. Hello.
Over to you, ma'am, for further proceedings. Nidhi ma'am? Well, in the meantime, maybe some technical issue. Apurva, ma'am, I think you can continue with the proceedings.
Okay, ma'am.
Till
Okay,
ma'am
ma'am.
joins, you can continue with the event.
Okay, ma'am. Eyes for CG Forum and Nidhi ma'am. I am highly honored and privileged to have been given the opportunity to be the master of ceremony for today's eve. Jai Johar, Namaste. Once again, I welcome one and all present here. Today we
Good
have
evening, ma'am.
invited.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Today we have invited a very special guest among us Dr. Shrutija ma'am, as our keynote speaker to enlighten us. She is well known in the field of education. Dr. Shrutija ma'am, by profession, is an assistant professor with experience of 25 years, HOD of English department, and member of boards of studies at PTRSU University. She is in Chandrapal Datsena Government College, Pithora, since 2017. Former principal at Pragati College, Raipur from 2007 to 17. Former visiting faculty, UTD English from 2001 to 2004. As an assistant professor, MA, Gurukul Mahavidyalaya, 2005 to 2006. And a very recognized PhD supervisor at PTRSU University. I am much pleased to share this that ma'am had published 9 research papers in journals, and we see her articles in more than 10 books. Participated and presented in more than 60 workshops, attended 15 faculty developmental programs and 2 refresher courses. Contributed as a convener and a resource person in various seminars. Today, we are privileged to have this opportunity to listen to you, ma'am. On behalf of all we gathered, I welcome you, ma'am. We are eager to listen to you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Apurva. Thank you, iSpell Forum. Thank you, Nidhi Madam. Thank you, Archana Madam, Harpreet Kaur Garcha Madam, Kirti Tiwari Madam, and above all, Ghanshyam Sir also for creating this platform, and for the faculties as well as the students. And my today's topic, a roadmap to effective communication, is especially for the students and the beginners. So I will not waste much of time, and I would like to seek permission for sharing. May I? Because may I share, madam?
Please, ma'am. Please.
Okay. Okay. So because I travel, so I will be sharing through mobile only. So it will be okay, na madam, for that?
तो चिल्ली मोर कल घर लग जाते हैं
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Okay, okay. So, the history of communication is as old as mankind. In ancient times, symbols and images were used to portray information. Even before language was developed, man strived to communicate 32,000 years ago. And the cave painting were the oldest form of communication. The default setting of our brain is to understand images better than text. So uh, uh, I have tried to give my presentation with the help of images, and we will start with the official definition of communication. The word communication is derived from a Latin word communis, which means to share or to participate. Communication is a two-way process of reaching mutual understanding in which parties involved exchange information, news, ideas, and feelings. As from the definition, it is clear that the origin is from the Latin word communis and two parties are involved. Then only we can say that the communication is complete. We do not say that we don't a single person cannot communicate, but that communication is incomplete. अगर एक व्यक्ति communicate करता है तो उस process को हम incomplete मानते हैं. Now with this picture, we can see that there is a boy and he has some idea in his mind, and then he is coding that message, and then he is adopting a channel to send this message to another guy, and that guy is the receiver, and then the first guy is sending the message to the second guy, then the second guy is receiving the message, he is decoding it, and then he is again encoding it, the message, he is adopting a channel and then sending it to the first one. So this is a complete process of communication. You can see with the help of diagram. एक व्यक्ति है और दूसरा व्यक्ति है और दोनों कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, और इस कम्युनिकेशन की जो प्रोसेस है उसमें आपका एनकोडिंग है, डिकोडिंग है, मैसेज है, चैनल है, तो ये पूरी प्रक्रियाएं जो है वो कम्युनिकेशन की प्रोसेस में यूटिलाइज होती है. आई विल यूज बोथ द हिंदी एज वेल एज इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज बिकॉज students from Pithora College are also there, and they are more comfortable with Hindi. Now, this communication process. Now, we will see how the transmission phase takes place in a communication process. There is message, then there is encoding of the message, then there is medium, then there is decoding by the receiver. Then the receiver now becomes the sender. Now there is message, then he is encoding this message, then he is adopting one medium, and then the decoding of the message is done by the sender. And in between, if there is any barrier, then it is known as noise. So we can say that with the help of feedback, the communication process is complete. मैसेज होता है, एनकोडिंग होती है, मीडियम का सिलेक्शन होता है, डिकोडिंग होती है. अब जिसको मैसेज मिला है वो पहले सेंडर ने, जिसको जो रिसीवर था वो अब सेंडर बनता है, और वो क्या है मैसेज को एनकोडिंग करता है, मीडियम चूज करता है, डिकोडिंग जो सेंडर है अब वो रिसीवर बनता है. तो आप ये देख रहे हैं एक फ्लो चार्ट या एक डायग्राम के हिसाब से कि दिस इज द कम्युनिकेशन प्रोसेस, एंड इन दिस वे द कम्युनिकेशन टेक्स प्लेस. Now, functions of communication. As I told you that communication began and it is as old as mankind. So functions, there are n number of functions since the time immemorial, but focusing on the students, I have selected 4 main functions that communications play in the life of the students. Information. When you are studying, when you are in class, when you are at home, when you are with your friends, when you have to give examination, when you want to know about your syllabus, when you go to tuitions, when you observe YouTube channels for your studies or any other thing. So communication gives you information. So as a student, communication plays the very important role in informing you. So its utmost function for the students is communication. Now, emotional expression. Since the time we are born, we communicate by crying. A baby doesn't know what is communication, what is the process, what is its definition, but they communicate that they are hungry or they are uncomfortable by crying. So man is a social animal and we need to communicate our emotions. अगर हम अपने emotions को communicate नहीं करेंगे तो we will have depression, and sometimes आप देखते हैं कि जो depressed रहते हैं वो अकेले बैठे रहते हैं because they can't share anything with anyone, and sometimes they commit suicide also. तो क्या है, आप जिस एज में हो, you people are teenagers and you have many ups and downs related to the emotional level, your psychological level. So communication plays a vital role and you need to communicate. जिससे भी आप महसूस करते हैं कि आप क्लोज हैं या आपके कोई इमोशंस हैं, तो आप बिल्कुल उसको खोल के आप अपने पेरेंट्स से, अपने टीचर से, अपने फ्रेंड से, अपने रिलेटिव से, जिससे भी आप कंफर्टेबल फील करते हैं आप शेयर करिए. बिल्कुल क्या है, इमोशंस को अपने अंदर दबा के या मत रखिए, या नेगेटिव इमोशंस से अपने लाइफ को खराब मत करिए. तो After information, emotional experience, and the third function which communication plays in the role of students is motivation. At this stage you require a lot of motivation. अगर आपने कोई अच्छा काम किया है और आपका क्या है, कोई पीठ थपथपा देता है, आपको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट कर देता है या आपको मोटिवेट कर देता है, स्पेशली आपके पेरेंट्स, आपके टीचर्स, आपके फ्रेंड्स, तो यू आर मोटिवेटेड फॉर डूइंग बेटर. तो ये जो मोटिवेशन है, ये फंक्शन भी क्या है, इट इज डन बाय कम्युनिकेटिंग. तो इट इज लाइक कम्युनिकेशन प्लेज अ विटल रोल इन मोटिवेटिंग. नाउ कंट्रोल. आप जिस एज में हो तो आपको कंट्रोल की भी बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है. व्हाट इज गुड फॉर यू, व्हाट इज बैड फॉर यू, योर पेरेंट्स, योर टीचर्स, they try to control you by telling all these things. So these are four important role which communication plays in your life. Now, why are communication skills important? Like in the beginning I told that communication is as old as the mankind. So we are inborn with the process of communication. So why we learn, why we want to learn this, and why we are calling it as a skill? बिकॉज स्किल ऐसी कोई चीज होती है जिसको हमको सीखना पड़ता है, और बोलना तो हम जब पैदा होते हैं तभी से जानते हैं, और ये कोई नई बात नहीं है, सब कोई बोल लेते हैं जिनमें ये क्षमता होती है. सो व्हाई वी आर कॉलिंग इट एज अ स्किल एंड व्हाई इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट? दे इम्प्रूव रिलेशनशिप, whether it is with our friends, with our teachers, with our relatives, anywhere. So communication plays a vital role in improving our relationship, develops respect. Until and unless we will not know each other, we will not develop respect for each other, one another. And in the same way, we live in society. So if we will understand others, then only we will learn the values and we will develop the value of respecting others. Develop empathy for others. There's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathy is a follow feeling. For example, if we are watching a movie and in the movie a protagonist is dying and people are weeping over there, so we are sitting and we also start weeping. That is empathy. किसी के feelings को खुद को महसूस करना, that is empathy. So communication helps us to be empathetic, allow us to function more effectively in social situations, whether it is birthday parties, whether it is gathering, whether it is like marriage or any other function. We meet one another, we communicate, we gain knowledge. So as again and again I'm telling, man is a social animal. So we live in society, so we need to communicate. Help us to succeed in life, schoolwork. If we master the art of communication, then we will be very good in explaining our thoughts, explaining our ideas, and at the time of interviews, we will explain whatever we know and we will be selected, so we will be successful. Now, I'm not talking only about job. If we are into business, then communication again plays a very important role, because हमारे में ये रहता है कि जिस भी दुकान में हमसे अच्छा कम्युनिकेट किया जाता है, तो चाहे वो सब्जी वाले ही क्यों ना हो, फल वाले क्यों ना हो, या बड़ी सी बड़ी या छोटी सी छोटी चीज जब हम खरीदने जाते हैं, तो हमारा एक रेपो बन जाता है उन शॉपकीपर्स के साथ. तो आप किसी भी फील्ड में हो, चाहे आप जॉब में हो, चाहे आप बिजनेस कर रहे हो, या कोई भी आपका पर्सनल रिलेशन है, तो ये क्या है, आपको कम्युनिकेशन के थ्रू ही अचीव होता है और अच्छा होता है और आप सक्सेसफुल होते हो. So that's why we need to gain this art. Now, types of communication. On the basis of channel, communication will be divided into formal and informal communication. On the basis of direction, downward, upward, horizontal, and it is multifarious also. And on the basis of method, we can say verbal and non-verbal communication. Now, channels of communication, formal. Wherever there is formality in a relationship, then we use formal communication. Just for example, you have to speak to your principal, you have to speak to your teachers. तो आप क्या है, ये कुछ फॉर्मेलिटी आप निभाएंगे, and that sort of communication is known as formal communication, wherever there is involvement of hierarchy. Now, informal communication, interaction that do not reflect officially designated channels of communication, creates a relaxed, comfortable climate. When you communicate with your family members, when you communicate with your friends, when you communicate with your brothers and sisters, there is no involvement of hierarchy. So that type of communication is known as informal communication, जहां formality का involvement नहीं होता है, उस प्रकार के communication को हम क्या बोलते हैं, informal communication. Now on the basis of direction, upward communication, जैसा अभी इससे पहले मैंने बताया hierarchy. Hierarchy means ranking. Whenever there's communication from lower rank to higher rank या lower hierarchy to upper hierarchy, then that sort of communication is known as upward communication. For example, आप स्कूल या कॉलेज में हैं, आपके प्यून को अगर आपके प्रिंसिपल से बात करना है तो ये डाउनवर्ड से अपवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन रहेगा, और सेम इसका उल्टा होता है डाउनवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन, जैसे कि ऑफिसेज में पॉलिसीज होती है, मेमोज होता है, मीटिंग्स होती है, मीटिंग्स के प्रोटोकॉल होते हैं, तो ये सब के लिए क्या है, इट फ्लोज फ्रॉम अपवर्ड टू डाउनवर्ड, दैट इज नोन एज डाउनवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन. नाउ हॉरिजॉन्टल कम्युनिकेशन, communication between same hierarchy, same ranking, same position is known as horizontal or lateral communication. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप बीकॉम फर्स्ट ईयर में हैं, अगर आप बीए फर्स्ट ईयर के बच्चे से कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, दैट इज हॉरिजॉन्टल कम्युनिकेशन. अगर आप क्या है सेकेंड ईयर या फाइनल ईयर के बच्चे से कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं तो वो क्या होगा, ये वो अपवर्ड होगा, और वो आपसे कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं तो डाउनवर्ड होगा. इसको क्या है, कोई भी जब आप प्रोसेस लर्न करते हैं तो उसको प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल अपनी लाइफ से जोड़ के आप देखिए, तब आप उसको हमेशा याद रखेंगे. सो फोकस इट कि आप वेदर स्कूल में है या कॉलेज में है, तो आप उस प्रक्रिया को, उस प्रोसेस को यू लिंक इट विथ योर ओन पर्सनल लाइफ, देन यू विल रिमेम्बर इट मोर इफेक्टिवली. नाउ मेथड्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. Verbal communication. It means communicating with words written or spoken. Verbal communication consists of speaking, listening, writing and reading. जैसा कि हमने पहली बार शुरू में ही देखा कि since the time immemorial, since the time of existence, man, human being is communicating. Now, भाषा तो बाद में उत्पत्ति हुई भाषा की, फिर भी क्या है, कम्युनिकेशन चल रहा था. So verbal communication consists of words when we speak, like I am speaking with you people, you, that is verbal communication. You are listening, यहाँ written words आपको दिख रहे हैं, you can read it. So all these are forms of verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication includes all unwritten and unspoken messages, both intentional and unintentional. देखिए यहाँ पे कुछ ऐसे टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज हुई है जिसको आपको समझने का बहुत जरूरी है. नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन अनरिटन एंड अनस्पोकन तो है, इंटेंशनल भी है, बट वी हैव यूज्ड द टर्म अनइंटेंशनल. भाई आप बोल रहे हैं हम कम्युनिकेट करना चाह रहे हैं, वी वांट टू कम्युनिकेट, but we are using the term unintentional. So why this terminology unintentional is used? I'm giving one example, citing example. If one relative has come to your house and your parents ask you to share home with that relative. Now you are reluctant, you don't want to share your room with that relative, but you cannot oppose your parents, and in the front of relative also you cannot say no. आप नहीं बोलना चाहते, आपके पेरेंट्स बोल रहे हैं कि आप रूम शेयर करिए, तो उस टाइम क्या है, आपका चेहरा उतर जाएगा, आप जो हाँ बोलोगे उसमें भी आपकी पिच जो है डाउन रहेगी, आपकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज जो है वो नेगेटिव रहेगी. तो ये क्या है, आप इंटेंशनली क्या है, आप यस बोल रहे हो, लेकिन अनइंटेंशनली आप क्या बोल रहे हो, नो। सो दिस टाइप ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, हम ना चाहते हुए भी हमारे एक्सप्रेशन, हमारे गेस्चर्स, हमारी बॉडी लैंग्वेज कम्युनिकेट कर देती है, एंड दैट इज अनइंटेंशनल कम्युनिकेशन। सो आगे के स्लाइड्स में हम देखेंगे कि हमारे किस प्रकार से हम यूटिलाइज करते हैं। सो नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, it can be in the form of body movement, and it can be in the form of gestures, and can be in the form of eye contact, it can be in the form of voice, and it can be in the form of touch. Now in the upcoming slides we will go through the details. Now types of non-verbal communication: kinesics, body language; haptics, touch; proxemics, space distancing; paralanguage, vocalics; sign language, audio and visual; and chronemics, it is speaking through time. Now what is kinesics? Kinesics is the name given to study of body's physical movement. Kinesics is considered to be an intelligent way of communication, the study of the way in which certain body movements and gestures serve as a form of non-verbal communication. Now you can see this picture. अब आप imagine करिए कि the boy is watching a cricket match. अब आप इनके gestures देखिए. He is bucking up, thumbs up. कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है तो he is happy. He is folding his hands and smiling. कमर में हाथ रख के he seems to be excited. अब छक्का पड़ा तो it is six. He is excited and see his eyes. Now he seems a bit confused. Now again he's thinking something, and now someone is out. बहुत अच्छा खेलते खेलते कोई क्रिकेटर मान लो आउट होता है तो see his face. Now again the second batsman come, he is out. No, Indian team is like they are about to lose the match. तो आप ये देखिए कि जो एक्सप्रेशन है, ये पूरे एक्सप्रेशन जो है इस लड़के के बैठे बैठे हाफ एन आवर में इसने पूरे एक्सप्रेशन दे दिए। तो उसी प्रकार से whenever we speak through our body, कि हम नाखून काट रहे हैं, हम पैर हिला रहे हैं, हम सिर के बाल खुजला रहे हैं, हम कुछ अजीबोगरीब हरकत कर रहे हैं, तो all these are expressions, unintentional expressions our body is speaking. So that is known as kinesics. We speak through our body, our body is speaking. Now haptics. आप एक फिगर देख रहे हैं, इसमें छोटे से बच्चे का हाथ है और एक बड़े का हाथ है। तो haptics touch, एक बच्चा जब पैदा होता है उसने कम्युनिकेशन नहीं पढ़ा है, उसने उसका डेफिनेशन नहीं पढ़ा है, बट ही नोज haptics. बच्चे को अपनी माँ का जो एहसास है वो टच रहता है और वो पहचानता है कि माँ का टच। बच्चे को जब छोड़ना तो उसको टच का एक फीलिंग है, बट जो कुछ नहीं जानता वो टच जानता है। तो ये सोच लीजिए कि हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज haptics, derived from the Greek word haptikos, meaning able to come into contact with. So haptics is equal to touch is equal to connection. Touch is the core of personal experience. Of the five senses, touch is the most proficient, the only one capable of simultaneous input and output. देखिए टच का है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हम दुखी बैठे हैं और कोई आके हमारे सिर को सहला दे तो हम क्या है, थोड़ा सा कंसोल होते हैं। कोई हमारे हमको कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, कोई हमको हग कर दे तो हम क्या है, कंसोल फील करते हैं। जब हम कुछ अचीव करते हैं, कोई हमको पीठ थपथपा दे तो शाबाशी वाली फीलिंग होती है। तो ये जो टच है, जितने भी हमारे सेंसेस हैं उसमें मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट है, एंड इट स्पीक्स. So it is a very effective means of communication. And today, nowadays, we are talking about good touch and bad touch also, and we should be aware about all these sorts of touches, because it is a means of communication. Next is it is how we communicate this, how we arrange personal space and what we arrange in it. अब आप एक फिगर देखेंगे यहाँ पे, you are seeing that there are 3 circles. One image is there and there are 3 circles. So the first circle is intimate. So the distance of intimate is 12 inches. So इसके अंतर्गत intimate circle के अंतर्गत आपके जो बहुत close family members हैं वो आपके intimate circle में आते हैं. तो आप किससे कितनी दूरी बना के रखते हो वो भी communicate करता है. तो space is a means of communication. Now second circle is personal, 12 to 30 inches. The area of personal space is 12 to 30 inches. जैसे आपके पड़ोसी हैं, आपके जो good friends हैं, वो इस दायरे के अंतर्गत आते हैं. Now third one is social, 3.5 feet to 12 feet. तो आपके क्या है, थोड़े और दूर वाले, जैसे आपकी क्लास में 60 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, तो कुछ आपके बहुत अच्छे फ्रेंड्स रहते हैं, कैसे फ्रेंड्स रहते हैं जो आपके फ्रेंड नहीं होते हुए भी आपके क्लासमेट हैं, आप उनको जानते हैं, हेलो हाय करते हो. तो कुछ आपके सेक्शन दूसरे सेक्शन के फ्रेंड्स भी रहते हैं. तो दिस इज. उसके बाद जो है वो पब्लिक है. तो 12 फीट को एज वी कैन सी, जैसे आप रास्ते में जा रहे हो, वो दुकान पड़ रही है, इधर कोई मिल रहा है, वहां सेब वाले खड़े हैं, ये सब आपके पब्लिक सर्कल में आते हैं. तो ये आपको ध्यान में रखना चाहिए. Now para language. Para means like. The vocal but non-verbal dimension of a speech, it has to do with the manner in which you say rather than what you say. हम जो बोल रहे हैं वो उतना मायने नहीं रखता, हम कैसे बोल रहे हैं वो ज्यादा मायने रखता है. ये and that is para language. It is like language. Rate. Speed at which you speak. When we are excited, when we are nervous, then we start speaking in a very fast speed. तो हम कोई मतलब हम rate of speed से समझ जाते हैं कि it is not normal. Volume, loudness. जब हम बहुत खुश होते हैं और we are angry, तो एकदम जब हमारे टीचर्स हमको डांटते हैं तो लाउड होके डांटते हैं कि नहीं. तो लाउडनेस से या मान लो you are asking may I go out and the teacher say go, तो हमको क्या लगेगा कि हम समझ जाते हैं कि वो गो बोल रहे हैं लेकिन वो हमसे नाराज हैं. वैसे हमारे पेरेंट्स का होता है कि कई बार वो बिना इच्छा के हमको कोई परमिशन देते हैं. तो लाउडनेस, हमारी जो वॉइस की लाउडनेस है वो भी स्पीक करती है. क्वाइटनेस ऑफ, like for example, you are calling to your friend and he's saying, you will say how you are, he'll say I am okay. तो if वो बीमार है या उसको डांट पड़ी है या किसी कारण लो फील कर रहा है, तो उसकी जो टोन है, जो वॉइस है, वो बहुत ज्यादा स्लो रहेगी, क्वाइट टाइप की रहेगी. तो उससे आप क्या बोलोगे, अरे व्हाट हैपेंड, आर यू नॉट ओके. आपने उसको देखा नहीं है, आप उससे मिले नहीं है, परंतु क्या है, उसकी लैंग्वेज से, उसकी वॉइस से आप समझ जा रहे हो कि वो क्या है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. तो इस प्रकार these are all examples of paralanguage and a part of non-verbal communication. Same is the case of pitch. Now, paralanguage includes facial expression, tones of voice, gestures, eye contact, spatial arrangements, patterns of touch, expressive movements, silence. If we are angry, we become silent. So silence is also a form of non-verbal communication. हम कुछ communicate नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम silent हैं, means that we are angry or we are sad. So these are all para language. Now this is Paul Ekman's experiment, and he did some experiment with the people all over the world, and he came to the conclusion that humans everywhere use similar expressions to demonstrate basic emotions. Fear, anger, disgust, sadness, surprise, and happiness. These sorts of emotions are expressed all over the world in a similar manner. Now you can see the faces. First one is fear, second one is anger, disgust, then sadness, then surprise and happiness. अब एक बात आप ये गौर करिए कि if a person is in Germany, local people, he will read and write in German language. If he is in Africa, he will read and write in African language. If he is not that literate, in England and America, English, and so on. तो जो वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन होता है, जो आप एजुकेशन से या आसपास के वातावरण से पाते हो, they may differ, they may vary from person to person, from place to place, on the basis of your location, on the basis of your education, like that. But non-verbal communication is same all over the world. Most of the non-verbal communication, like for example, a person in America, a person in England, a person in Germany, a person in India, and a person in Africa weeps in the same manner, laughs in the same manner, he is happy in the same manner, he is sad in the same manner. तब आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि why non-verbal communication is so important. Because हम वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन तो एजुकेशन के द्वारा और यहाँ से सीख जाते हैं, बट वी हैव टू मास्टर नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन, वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट इट. सो ये एक एक्सपेरिमेंट है. नाउ दीज आर सम साइन लैंग्वेज. आपने मूक बधिर वाला समाचार देखा होगा. सो दे यूज साइन लैंग्वेज. सो वी डोंट यूज साइन लैंग्वेज दैट मच इन अवर डेली लाइफ, बट यहाँ पे 2 साइन लैंग्वेज है. एक विक्ट्री वाला है जो हम विक्ट्री के समय यूज करते हैं, और एक इंडेक्स फिगर को हम पॉइंट आउट करके, जो कि बोला जाता है कि फिंगर पॉइंट आउट करके मत बोलो. तो ये देखिए, ये सब कुछ है जो ये साइन लैंग्वेज है. नाउ कुछ ये और सम सिंपल कन्वर्सेशन साइन लैंग्वेज है. देखिए हेलो, उसके बाद हैंड अपोजिट है, यू आर वेलकम, गुड बाय, यस, प्लीज, सॉरी एंड थैंक्स. Now, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. George Bernard Shaw. So Bernard Shaw ने कहा कि जो कम्युनिकेशन है उसमें सबसे बड़ी विडंबना ये है कि हमको लगता है कि कम्युनिकेशन हो गया है, हमको भ्रम होता है कि कम्युनिकेशन हो गया है, पर वास्तव में कम्युनिकेशन हुआ नहीं रहता है. So that's why communication is considered as a skill and we have to learn it. क्योंकि हमको पता ही नहीं रहता कि क्या हम कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं और क्या कम्युनिकेट हुआ है. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि आप किसी रिलेटिव के घर गए तो आप बोलते हो, भले वो आपको चाय, पानी, नाश्ता सब करवा देंगे, लेकिन आपको ऐसा लगता है उनका फेस एक्सप्रेशन ठीक नहीं था, अब वहां दोबारा नहीं जाना. तो कम्युनिकेशन में यही चीज है. वो रिलेटिव को नहीं मालूम है कि आप समझ गए हैं या उनका जो उनके एक्सप्रेशन है वो आपको पसंद नहीं आया, पर वो सोच रहे हैं कि अरे हमने तो इतना अच्छा नाश्ता कराया, चाय पिलाया, खाना खिलाया, परंतु क्या है, ये जो फेस है कम्युनिकेट कर देता है. इसलिए we need to be very very careful. Now chronomics is the study of how human beings communicate through their use of time. अगर आपका कोई प्रेजेंटेशन है, आप टाइम पे जाइए, पहुंचिए, अपने स्कूल कॉलेज में टाइम पे पहुंचिए. तो क्या है, जैसे वॉरेन बफेट है, वो अपनी जो कोई भी मीटिंग्स है उसको सिर्फ 5 मिनट्स देते हैं. वो बोलते हैं कि 5 मिनट्स के अंतर्गत ही जो भी कम्युनिकेट करना है मेरे से करो. तो इस तरीके से हम अपने टाइम को कितना इम्पोर्टेंस देते हैं, ये चीज हमारे बारे में कम्युनिकेट किया करता है. जैसे अमिताभ बच्चन है, तो हमेशा अपन पढ़ते हैं कि ही इज ऑलवेज इन टाइम. तो हम जो अच्छे लोग हैं उनसे हम एग्जाम्पल भी ले सकते हैं लाइफ में, टू हाउ टू कम्युनिकेट थ्रू टाइम. नाउ दिस इज pie diagram you can say, and it is saying 93% of communication is non-verbal. अब आप ये देख लीजिए कि कितनी बड़ी बात बोली गई है कि we communicate through body language 55%, through vocal 38%, and only 7% is communicated verbally. So verbal communication takes place only 7%. So we have to be very, very, very careful, and we have to work on body language and non-verbal communication too. Now there are some barriers: noise, poor timing, distance, inadequate or overload of information. Naturally, noise creates a barrier in communication. Poor timing. For example, you are going to give a paper. आपका पेपर है 11 बजे से और रास्ते में आपको कोई रोक के बोल रहा है कि फलां मूवी लगी है, अपन चलेंगे, तब आप भले ही उस स्टार के आप फैन हो, परंतु क्या है, आपको उस टाइम वो चीज बहुत नाराज करेगी, बिकॉज आप किस पे टेंशन में हो कि आप एग्जाम देने जा रहे हो, आप ऑलरेडी टेंशन में हो, आप सोच रहे हो ये लिखना है, ये बनाना है, और उस टाइम ये बोल रहा है, नहीं तो बोले चल होटल कुछ खा लेते हैं। तो वो सब चीजें क्या है, प्रॉपर टाइमिंग जो है कम्युनिकेशन में बहुत एसेंशियल है। डिस्टेंस है, इनएडिकेट और ओवरलोड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, कम इंफॉर्मेशन या जरूरत ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन, दोनों क्या है, ठीक नहीं है। जैसे बोलते हैं अधगगरी छलकत जाए, तो उसी तरीके से, या अति सर्वत्र वर्जित, तो हमको ओवरलोडिंग भी नहीं करना है और इनएडिकेट भी नहीं रखना है इंफॉर्मेशन को। ना ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बैरियर, व्हेन इट कम्स टू ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, कई बार ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इतनी ज्यादा हायरार्किकल लेवल्स रहते हैं कि अगर बॉस को किसी लोअर हायरार्की वाले को बर्थडे विश करना है, तो वो चैनल को अपनाते अपनाते 1 वीक निकल जाएगा और बर्थडे 1 वीक पास हो जाएगा, उसके बाद वो विश करेंगे। तो उसी तरीके से हायरार्किकल रिलेशनशिप है, लैक ऑफ स्टाफ मीटिंग है, पुअर चॉइस ऑफ चैनल है। तो ये सब क्या है, किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में दे सर्व एज अ बैरियर फॉर कम्युनिकेशन। नाउ इमोशनल बैरियर, सेलेक्टिव परसेप्शन, हम किसी चीज के बारे में पहले से कोई धारणा बना लेते हैं कि अरे ये चीज अच्छी होगी या अच्छी नहीं होगी, तब हमको प्रॉब्लम जाती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कोई फला फला होटल है और उसका बहुत नाम है, मान लो आप ताज होटल में गए, आपने सुना कि बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत बड़ा है, आप वहां गए और आपको वो वहां का खाना बिल्कुल भी पसंद नहीं आया, तो आप क्या बोलोगे, अरे इतना सुन रखे थे इसके बारे में, अरे एकदम बेकार। तो वही चीज होती है कि हम कोई परसेप्शन किसी चीज के बारे में बना लेते हैं, तो वो एक बैरियर हो जाता है। जबकि आपको पता चलेगा कि वहां के खाने में क्या है, प्रोटीन, कार्ब्स, फैट, कार्बोहाइड्रेट, ये सब के मारे उसका स्वाद वैसा है, वो आपके हेल्थ के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, परंतु आपको स्वाद में अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, तो आपको बोला अरे बेकार है। who are listening we will discuss आगे in upcoming slide। egotism, कई बार ऐसा होता है, we get some very valuable information from our subordinates या फिर हमसे लोअर हायरार्की पे, पर हम इग्नोर कर देते हैं क्योंकि हमारा ईगो हर्ट हो जाता है। अरे हम इतने पढ़े लिखे हैं, हमको इतनी जानकारी है, ये हमको क्या बताएगा। तो दिस इज ईगो एंड इमोशंस, sometimes we are too emotional to understand practical aspect of many things। तो कई बार क्या होता है, हम जिस एज में है, तो हम we are very emotional, we become very emotional in our teenage। तो sometimes पेरेंट्स हमको किसी चीज के लिए मना करते हैं, तो हमको ऐसा लगता है कि बहुत भला बुरा हम पेरेंट्स टीचर्स को सोचते हैं उनके बारे में, परंतु क्या है, दे आर सेइंग इट फॉर अवर गुड, क्योंकि समटाइम्स इमोशंस जो है वो कम्युनिकेशन या उसमें एक बैरियर रहते हैं और हम उनकी बातों को हम पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट नहीं समझ पाते हैं। कल्चरल बैरियर, as we know that different culture people of different culture adopt different type of behaviors, for example like hugging, shaking hands and kissing is not considered as a normal between male and female, especially in small towns and cities of India, but in western country it is considered as okay and it is very normal। तो कई बार ऐसे रिलीजन बैरियर हो जाता है या कई बार अलग अलग सभ्यताएं हो जाती हैं, तो दे एक्ट एज अ बैरियर इन कम्युनिकेशन। नाउ हाउ टू ओवरकम कम्युनिकेशन बैरियर, evaluate feedback, feedback is very 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 essential in communication, improve listening skills, improve writing skills, avoid credibility gap, clarify ideas before communication, put consideration Be aware of language, tone, and content. Especially pay attention to this. How to improve your language, how to improve your tone, and how to work on your content. बिकॉज हमको डे बाय डे अपनी वोकैबुलरी पे, अपनी लैंग्वेज पे, सब पे हमको वर्क करना रहता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम बोल रहे हैं दैट इज वी आर कम्युनिकेटिंग, वी हैव टू वर्क ओवर इट. नाउ ऑडियंस एनालिसिस. जब हम एक ग्रुप में कम्युनिकेट करते हैं तो उस ग्रुप के ऑडियंस को हमको एनालिसिस करना बहुत जरूरी है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई एम कम्युनिकेटिंग हियर विथ students also and with faculties also, but the focus of my presentation is students, so I am speaking in English as well as Hindi. और अगर ये मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन प्राइमरी स्कूल के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए रहता या 6 से लेके 1 तक के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए रहता है, स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, तो उसमें कार्टून कैरेक्टर्स रहते, उसमें कुछ ऐसा रहता जो जोक टाइप का रहता, जिससे उनको हंसी आती, उनको मजा आता. तो आप जिस ऑडियंस के लिए बोल रहे हो उसके दिमाग, उसका कल्चर, उसकी एज और उसकी लैंग्वेज, सब पे आपका एनालिसिस होना चाहिए. तब आप जो बोल रहे हो वो सामने वाला समझ पाएगा. दिस इज नोन एज ऑडियंस एनालिसिस. नाउ one important part of communication, most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. हम अपनी लाइफ में क्या करते हैं, हम आधा सुनते हैं और आधा सुन के बिना पूरा सुने हम क्या करते हैं, रिप्लाई करते हैं. और ये 90% लोगों की आदत रहती है, नॉट ओनली स्टूडेंट्स. सो देयर इज वन very good definition of listening. What is listening? Look interested, get interested. Involve yourself by responding. Stay on target. Test your understanding. Evaluate the message. Neutralize your feeling. You can note this definition of listening. Look interested and get interested. इन्वॉल्व योरसेल्फ बाय रिस्पॉन्डिंग. आप सुन रहे हैं किसी को तो आप रिस्पॉन्ड भी करिए. स्टे ऑन द टारगेट. जिस बात पे आपको बोला जा रहा है आप सुन रहे हैं तो उस पर फोकस रहिए. टेस्ट योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. आप उस विषय वस्तु से कितनी आपको जानकारी है और जो नई जानकारी मिल रही है उसको एनालिसिस करिए. इवैल्यूएट द मैसेज एंड न्यूट्रलाइज योर फीलिंग्स. किसी भी चीज के लिए पहले से अपनी धारणा मत बनाइए, because listening is very important part of communication. Now importance of listening, why we are focusing on listening. हम तो communication की बात कर रहे थे, फिर हम listening में कहाँ से आ गए. Now see, order in which we learn. Listening 45%, speaking 30%, reading 16% and writing 9%. अब आपको समझ में आएगा कि जो मूक बधिर लोग रहते हैं, तो जो अगर बधिर है, अगर कोई सुन नहीं सकता तो वो बोल भी नहीं सकता, क्योंकि हम मैक्सिमम क्या है, हम सुन के बोलना सीखते हैं फिर लिखना सीखते हैं. तो 45% whatever we learn and we learn through listening. तो हम कम्युनिकेशन भी कहाँ से सीखते हैं, through listening. इसीलिए listening is one of the most important factor of communication. You cannot segregate that ये communication है और ये listening है, दोनों अलग अलग है, क्योंकि ये कान से होता है या हम बोलते हैं या body language से होता है. Because without listening you cannot communicate properly. Now another important aspect, what is the difference between hearing and listening? Hearing is like breathing, it is automatic, it is physical. जैसे हम मान लो कॉलेज से या स्कूल से घर आ रहे हैं, रास्ते में लाउड स्पीकर बज रहा है, कहीं गाना बज रहा है, कहीं कथा चल रही है, कहीं कोई जोर से शादी चल रही है, आप कहीं भीड़ है, कहीं जुलूस निकल रहा है. आप जब आप घर पहुंचते हो तो इतनी सारी चीजों से होके आते हो, दैट इज योर हियरिंग. बिकॉज वो अनइंटेंशनल है, वो आप जानबूझ के नहीं सुन रहे हो, वो आपको सुनाई दे रहा है, दैट इज हियरिंग. जैसे हम सांस लेते हैं वैसे ही हम सुनते हैं, हम अपने आप को सुनने से रोक नहीं सकते, इसलिए हम सुनते हैं। और आजकल तो लोग क्या करते हैं, अपने कान में ईयरफोन लगा के गाना सुनते हैं। तो हियरिंग एंड फिर इफेक्टिव लिसनिंग इज अ स्किल व्हिच कैन बी अचीव ओनली थ्रू प्रैक्टिस, इट इज इंटेलेक्चुअल। तो लिसनिंग इज इंटेलेक्चुअल and your brain is involved in listening. In hearing, your brain is not involved, and in listening, your brain is involved. Now, hearing is accidental, it is involuntary, it is effortless. आपको सुनने में कोई effort नहीं लगता, but listening, it is focused, it is voluntary, and it is intentional. हम क्या है, भागवत सुनने जाते हैं। कोई भी क्या है, मान लो वीडियो, आप कोई एसेंशियल वीडियो लेक्चर देख रहे हो तो आप सुनते हो, उसको ध्यान लगा के सुनते हो। और मेरी भी गुजारिश है कि आप ये जो प्रेजेंटेशन है उसको हियर मत करो, आप इसको लिसन करो, क्योंकि लिसन से आपका दिमाग इन्वॉल्व होता है। नाउ फाइनल टिप्स ऑफ गुड लिसनिंग, मेंटेन आई कांटेक्ट विद द इंस्ट्रक्टर। आई कांटेक्ट होना बहुत जरूरी है। आप इधर उधर देखोगे तो आप क्या है ना, अच्छे से आप रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दोगे तो सामने वाला भी इंटरेस्ट नहीं लेगा। इसलिए क्या है, गेट इंटरेस्टेड। आपका जो एल का है, डेफिनेशन था एल का, तो वो चीज है। फोकस ऑन कंटेंट देन ऑन द वे दैट इज बीइंग सेड। अवॉइड सेलेक्टिव लिसनिंग, कुछ सुने कुछ नहीं सुने। अवॉइड डिस्ट्रैक्शंस, आप कुछ अच्छी चीज सुन रहे हो, आपके फ्रेंड्स बुला रहे हैं, चल घूमने चल, कल चल घूमने चल, ये बार बार मैसेज कर रहे हैं, आप अवॉइड करिए। आस्क क्वेश्चंस टू स्टे एक्टिव एंड इंटरेस्टेड। आप जितने सेंसेस इन्वॉल्व करेंगे, जैसे आप लेक्चर सुन रहे हैं, आप नोट डाउन करिए, तो उससे आपके और भी सेंसेस इन्वॉल्व होंगे, तो आप मोर अलर्ट होंगे। आप क्वेश्चंस पूछिए। Face the speaker, maintain eye contact, respond appropriately, say yes, nod, etc. Don't be preoccupied with your own thoughts. हम क्लास में बैठे हैं, लेक्चर चल रहा है और हमारा ध्यान है कि घर में कौन सी सब्जी बन रही होगी। So this should not take place. You give your 100% whenever you are listening anything. Avoid all sorts of physical as well as emotional distractions. So distraction is only not in the form of noise. जो हमारे emotions हैं, they distract more. So you have to be focused. Now 7 steps to effective communication. Situation analysis. What is the current status of communication? You have to analyze the situation. Aim. आप किस एम के लिए बोल रहे हो, बता रहे हो, और वो एम अचीव हुआ है कि नहीं। लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, right now I'm presenting, so I have some aim. When I prepared this presentation, I have some intention, I had some aim. So what is your aim? Now overall message, how does the message sound? आपको मैसेज कैसा है, जो है टारगेट, आपके जो ग्रुप है वो कौन से ग्रुप को आप टारगेट कर रहे हो। टारगेट ग्रुप मैसेजेस, व्हाट आर द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द टारगेट ग्रुप्स। मीन्स एंड मीडिया, what is the media you are choosing, which means you are choosing, and checking effectiveness. What I am presenting, what I am speaking, what I am communicating, is it effective or not? So in order to attain or achieve effective communication, we need to work on it. Now, the most important in effective communication is to know the following: who you are communicating with. आप किनसे communicate कर रहे हो, ये आपको जानना बहुत जरूरी है। What you are communicating, the subject. The communication should be adequate to the subject. कई बार क्या होता है कि हम बॉम्बे जाते जाते हम क्या है, दिल्ली पहुंच जाते हैं, बिकॉज हम स्टार्ट कोई और चीज से करते हैं, पर कम्युनिकेट हम क्या कहीं और करने लगते हैं। तो कम्युनिकेशन हमारा फोकस्ड रहना चाहिए, टू द पॉइंट रहना चाहिए। वी शुड स्टिक टू द सब्जेक्ट। नाउ why we are communicating, what the goal of your communication is, what you want to achieve with this communication, when you will communicate, how you will communicate. So these are all points you have to consider while you are communicating, क्योंकि आगे चल के अभी आप स्टूडेंट्स हो, आगे चल के आपको बहुत ज्यादा ऐसा कम्युनिकेशन आपके व्यावहारिक जीवन में बहुत ज्यादा उपयोगी सिद्ध होंगे, तो आपको किसी भी प्रकार के कम्युनिकेशन से पहले ये सब क्वेश्चन अपने आप से करना पड़ेगा. Now, for example, I have prepared this presentation, so I want you to learn. जैसे मैं ये communicate कर रही हूँ आपसे, तो मेरा aim क्या है? So you should know the definition of communication. You should understand communication and the communication process. जो मेरी first, second, and third slide थी. List and overcome and filter barriers in a communication process. Improve your body language, जो आपका non-verbal communication था. Developing oral skills, tips to improve non-verbal communication, practice active listening, and last, what you have to do and what you don't have to do in communication. So my objective was that कि आप ये सब चीज सीखें या आपके दिमाग में ये सब चीज बैठे, क्योंकि एक बार बताने से नहीं होता. You have to practice this again and again, make it a habit. You have to work on it. Now, one more thing, like colors, they also communicate. It affects your mood. Yellow, warm, exciting, happy. Blue, deep, peaceful, supernatural. Green, peace, stillness, nature. White, harmony, silence, cleanliness. Black, grief, dark, unknown. Red, glowing, confidence, alive. Orange, radiant, healthy, and serious. जैसे आपने देखा जो हमारा ट्राई कलर है, तो व्हाइट इज कम्युनिकेटिंग समथिंग, सेफ्रन इज कम्युनिकेटिंग समथिंग, ग्रीन इज कम्युनिकेटिंग समथिंग, अशोक चक्र इज कम्युनिकेटिंग समथिंग. व्हेन वी कम थ्रू ट्रैफिक सिग्नल्स, then red is communicating something, green is communicating something. Like this, colors also communicate. When we go in a party, we wear radiant colors. When we go in a grief, we try to wear black or white. When we go for interview, we try to wear blue, white, like sober colors. So colors also communicate about you. So we have to be very careful in choosing colors also. Now, how to improve existing level of communication. जो हमारा अभी का जो लेवल है, उस कम्युनिकेशन को हम और अच्छा कैसे बना सकते हैं. Improve language and pronunciation. आप इंग्लिश की वोकैबुलरी सुनिए, इंग्लिश की न्यूज सुनिए, यूट्यूब में कुछ कुछ अच्छी अच्छी चीजें देखिए, और आप क्या है लैंग्वेज लैब अगर आपके यहाँ है तो आप उस पे बैठ के सुनिए. वर्क ऑन वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन, इस पे वर्क करिए. वर्क ऑन बॉडी लैंग्वेज, इसके और सेमिनार्स और लेक्चर्स अटेंड करिए. Read more and listen more. Avoid reading and watching and listening unwanted literature, gossip, media and presentation. ये जो आज की डेट में सबसे बड़ी बात है, फिल्टर नहीं है. Everything is easily available. आप YouTube में जो देखना चाहते हैं वो है, परंतु we have to be very selective कि हमारी जो एज है वो क्या है, हमारी कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग की एज है, हमारा करियर बिल्डिंग की स्टेज है, तो हमको हमारे लिए क्या अच्छा है वो हमको चूज करना. वी हैव टू बी वेरी 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 सिलेक्टिव. और किसी भी प्रकार का गॉसिप या अनवांटेड लिटरेचर, उससे आप दूर रहिए. इंटरेक्ट विद क्वालिटेटिव पीपल, अच्छे लोगों के संपर्क में रहिए, अच्छे लोगों से कम्युनिकेट करिए. प्रैक्टिस मेडिटेशन एंड गुड थॉट्स. व्हाई? बिकॉज हमारे जो इमोशनल डिस्ट्रैक्शन है, जो इमोशनल बैरियर है, वो मेडिटेशन के थ्रू इम्प्रूव होंगे. Think and speak and do not speak too fast. Use simple vocabulary. Do not speak only to impress someone. सिर्फ किसी को impress करने के चक्कर में हम ना बोले, जो सही है, यथार्थ है, वो बोले. There are 7 C's of communication. Communication is a wide topic. Its canvas is very wide. तो हम क्या अलग अलग चीज को, प्रिंसिपल्स है इसके अलग, परंतु एक ओवरऑल समिंग अप है. तो क्लैरिटी होना चाहिए, कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए. तो ये सब चीज क्या है आपके स्पीकिंग में आता है. लोग प्रेजेंटेबल एंड कॉन्फिडेंट. तो आप बोलने बताने के साथ साथ आप प्रेजेंटेबल भी रहे और कॉन्फिडेंट भी रहे। एक छोटा सा संस्कृत में श्लोक है जिसका अर्थ मैं आपको बताती हूँ कि समुद्र ने जब विष्णु भगवान को देखा तो उन्होंने अपनी कन्या दे दिया, मतलब लक्ष्मी जी को उन्होंने विष्णु भगवान से शादी कर दी। और समुद्र ने जब शंकर जी को देखा, वो भभूति लगाए हुए थे और उन्होंने सांप लपेटा हुआ था, तो वो क्या उन्होंने उनको देख के विष दे दिया। तो एक छोटा सा संस्कृत में ऐसा श्लोक है कि हम कई बार ऐसा सोचते हैं कि हमारा प्रेजेंटेशन क्या मायने रखेगा। तो आप सोचिए संस्कृत जो कि इतनी प्राचीन लैंग्वेज है, उसमें इस बात को महत्व दिया गया है कि लोग प्रेजेंटेबल एंड बी कॉन्फिडेंट। सो हियर आई विल बी एंडिंग माय प्रेजेंटेशन एंड आई होप दैट इससे हमारे स्टूडेंट्स लोग कुछ उनको बेनिफिट मिला होगा और आगे भी हम ऐसा कम्युनिकेट करते रहेंगे।
Hello.
Hello, am I
Hello.
okay?
Apurva.
I will come. I will come again.
Hello. Apurva.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am,
Okay.
for this beautiful presentation. Apurva. Apurva. Hello. Apurva. Dr. Shruti Jha, ma'am, you have spoken very well on the value of communication.
Thank
It's
you.
really very nice to hear you. You have told us that how communication plays a very important role in our life, and the success of a person largely depends how he communicates. So, very beautiful presentation. I must thank you on behalf of entire ICG forum. And for further proceedings, I would like to invite Apurva. Apurva, are you there? Are you listening? Now, I would like to invite Professor Nirmala Hadar ma'am for her chairperson remarks. Nirmala ma'am, over to you. Before that, I would like to say, if there is any question you may have. If anybody wants to ask a question, please. Session is open for question answer. Am I audible? Shruti ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Ma'am,
Hello.
I think there's no question. So I would like to invite Professor Nirmala ma'am for her chairperson remarks. Nirmala ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nidhi. A very good evening to one and all present. First of all, I would like to thank ISPEL Forum Chhattisgarh for this great opportunity that you have given me to be a part of this series. I would also like to extend my thanks to Kirti Tiwari madam.
Madam, you are not visible. Please on your camera.
Yeah, a little, there's some problem with my camera. I'll see if I
Okay.
can Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you are audible. But actually, I want to take the screenshots. So that's why I want you to please on your camera.
Okay, I'll try.
Now you are visible, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, I would like to thank Dr. Harpreet Karcha, Kiti Tiwari ma'am, and all members of iSpell who have made this forum possible, especially to Dr. Ghansham sir, who is the founder of this forum. Now, let me come to today's topic that Madam has presented. When she began her lecture, initially said that this is for my students. I thought it would be a very simple lecture. But when she started explaining things, then I came to realize that this was not only for the students, but also for the teachers, because there were various aspects that even I was not aware of, I should say, because we go on teaching, but we don't go into the aspects, the theoretical aspects of it. Sometimes it comes to us as a natural thing. We talk to students, we go on speaking. So when Jha Madam explained one by one, she began with a definition. She went on to tell us about the various aspects of communication, about the various barriers that we face, about how it is important for relationships. I think I need not explain everything that she has explained. She has explained it so wonderfully that I don't want to, put my words above her words. But certain points that she had explained, I would like to elaborate a little bit of with my own experience as a teacher. So, one place, Madam said that how communication is very important for relationships. So this is something that is an important aspect in today's world. We come to see that lots of people, lots of relationships, especially between spouses, between married people, they come to an end because people don't communicate. You have grudges against each other. You have so many things against each other, and you don't speak about it. You keep it in your mind, and then it comes into action. And that actually breaks your relationship. So the saying goes, and heard our elders say from time to time, that speak. Whatever is there, you speak, you communicate. If you're not communicating, how will that person know what is your grudge, or how will that person know whether you are happy or unhappy? So this is an important aspect of communication, that if you have your emotions, as she said, we can express our emotions through it. So emotions should not be kept inside. It should be expressed in words, and that is what communication is for. We see that many of our students, they have lots of ideas, but they are not able to explain it in words. Sometimes they have difficulty, particularly in English. They have difficulty with vocabulary. They don't have enough words to explain whatever feeling. And as a result, they're able to explain things. And there might be periods in a student's life when he feels depressed. He has to talk, say, to his parents, or he has to talk to his teachers about what he's feeling. And he is unable, or he hesitates because he doesn't have the proper language, or he feels that he'll not be able to, speak properly. Somebody may laugh at him. The hesitation is there. So why is it important that you should have a good communication skill? We all know that we are very impressed by people who speak very well, whether it is, political leaders, whether it is professors, whether it is anybody in any field. We are more impressed by people who are able to bring across their ideas in a very beautiful way. Lots of people speak, but some people speak very effectively. So for the students, it is important that they should learn effective communication. They should be able, जो हम कहते हैं, because there are students, I'll use a little bit of Hindi, कि आप जो बात कहना चाहते हैं वही बात सामने वाले को समझ में आए. आप कुछ कह रहे हैं, सामने वाले को कुछ और समझ में आ रहा है. That is the problem that we are facing nowadays. So I think what we have to train our students in is that they should be able to communicate what they want to express. And lots of issues that are there in our society, like students committing suicide and all, that will be reduced if they are able to speak. They go into depression, they don't speak about their anxieties, or even when they speak, people are not able to understand what they are trying to say. And the end result is something very bad. And at that time, people realize that, okay, I should have listened to this person when he was saying, he was perhaps giving some hints, but I was not able to understand what he was saying. Particularly with our literature students, when we talk about English language, which is more difficult for the students because it is not the mother tongue of most of the students. So they have, when you're learning a second language, then when you're adopting it, it becomes a little bit more difficult to speak in that language. They have difficulty understanding words, understanding, diction, understanding perhaps even the pronunciation of certain words. So what we have to make our students understand is that they have to listen properly. As ma'am said, if somebody is deaf, they are not able to speak because we speak by listening. The child, when he is born, doesn't have words. So we talk to the child. We say, the mother particularly says, you say mama, mama. That is when the child starts saying it. So we, develop that skill by listening. So what our students lack today is they are not good listeners. Madam has given this clues, some points as to what a good listener should have, the qualities that a good listener should have. I always talk to my students and I say, particularly for English literature students, that a good literature student is one whose observation is really good. Because whatever we take in literature, all the stories, all the poems, they are all connected to life. So it is from life that we are learning. So if you're very observant, if you observe how life is, then you will be able to become a better student, you will be able to become a better listener, and you will be able to become a better speaker. So this type of communication we have to teach our students, although we all work really hard to make them speak in a better way. But in academics, it always distills back to saying that somehow you have to pass your exam, somehow you have to know how to read, how to write. So we don't have enough time in our syllabus to make them speak. So they will somehow manage to write, they will somehow manage to read, but they don't manage to speak. So this is where we have to work. This is what we all have to do to make our students better communicators, so that they will be able to speak in a better way, maybe outside the classrooms, or give some, as madam has given, we should give some tips on how to make them better listeners, better speakers. Only then we'll be successful as teachers of English language. So I think with these words, I would like to conclude. Madam's presentation was exceptionally well done. And it was not a presentation. I felt as if it was a journey from the very beginning of how communication was to how in today's scenario, we should learn to communicate. So it was a complete journey from the very beginning to today. So I really appreciate her work, and it was a very good presentation, madam. I really enjoyed listening to you, and I think the students might also have enjoyed it.
Thank you,
once
ma'am.
to all members of ISL Forum, and thank you.
Am I audible, ma'am? Now, am I audible?
Yes, Apurva, you are.
Heartily I apologize to all the audiences, all the faculty, and all the members. I was in the meet only, and I am seeing you all, but I don't know why I'm not visible to you, and audio was not audible to you. I'm really sorry for that. And I really like to introduce our chairperson, Mrs. Nirmala Heather, ma'am. She's chairperson for today's session. She have published 2 papers and 1 presented, specialization in Indo-Anglian drama. Ma'am has 24 years of teaching, 8 years of PG teaching experience. Ma'am have done her MA in English from Kalyan College, Bhilai, and MPhil from RSU in 1991. Joined DRS Government College, Kasdol in Jan 1995 and joined Science College in 2002. Girls Degree College in 2006, Naveen Gurukul College in 2010, SNA College Tilda in 2014. This is a brief description of our today's chairperson, Heather ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words.
Thank you, Apurva. Thank you very much.
As we proceed, I would like to call, and I'm much privileged to call Dr. Kirti Tiwari ma'am. She is a patron of our iSpell CG forum. I welcome you, ma'am, to enlighten us with your precious words. Ma'am, your mic is mute. Tiwari ma'am, your mic is mute.
Okay, good evening to one and all. I'm really delighted. It's a matter of pleasure for me and, of course, pride to have all my colleagues, dear friends, and students here. And the topic is really worthwhile. Previously, communication was taught only in professional colleges. Now, everyone has learned about the importance of communication. It can, and good communication can make relations, and it can break also if not done effectively. So the keynote speaker, Dr. Jha, has beautifully brought forward all the aspects of communication. She enlivened her presentation by colorful PPT and examples from real life and all code switching and all, and made it very interesting. It's always a pleasure to have Nirmala. Meeting her virtually is also very nice, and of course the ball is set, and it keeps on rolling because of people like Dr. Archana Singh and Harpreet Garcha, who have voluntarily shouldered the responsibility of president and convener. And of course, event coordinator Nidhi Gupta, I know she has made very sincere efforts throughout for organizing both the events of this month. I'm also, I would like to appreciate the efforts of my students of PG. They have offered their services, and in future also I would like to do so. So it is a real pleasure for me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ma'am, please distribute the certificates also.
Yeah. Will you please share it? Right. Acha, Nurul is also here. Nurul is always there to help us. Okay, this certificate goes to Dr. Shruti Jha for a very informative and entertaining presentation on roadmap to effective communication. We appreciate her efforts clarifying about this wonderful topic by taking all the aspects of communication and carefully preparing a colorful PowerPoint and switching the code. And that was an insightful presentation too. So this is a small token of our appreciation for you, Madam Jha. Please accept it with our sincere thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I am so much happy and elated to receive it.
Thank you. I think chair, yeah. So as I said, Nirmala Hadar has done her job. And of course, I should say Mrs. Nirmala Hadar. She is so close to me that I dare to call her by her first name. So she has.
Whose madam you can always do.
She has contributed, given her services as chairperson on this Saturday intellectual meet on the topic, and she has wonderfully summed up and highlighted the salient features of the talk of the keynote speaker. It was an added pleasure to know your views on the importance of communication and how an effective communicator can build up great relationships which value the most. And your knowledgeable utterance enlightened by examples and anecdotes made all appreciate your summing up. So this certificate goes to you, Nirmala Hadar ma'am. Please accept it as a token of our love and appreciation.
Thank you very
Nirmala,
much,
please
ma'am. I'm really honored.
Right. Apurva Dharanag is my one of the favorite and best students of Chhattisgarh College, and I really appreciate her for generously volunteering her services. The moment I asked her to do so, for that, I'm thankful also to her, and I congratulate her because this is for the first time we are watching her on virtual medium anchoring the program. Your anchoring was impressive and interesting. Keep it up, Apurva, and please accept this certificate of appreciation for this event.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was you only who motivated me and guided me. And thank you so much, ma'am, for distributing the certificates also. Now, I would like to invite.
Just a bit. Congratulations to all of you. Although certificates are not given, I know, of course, that this certificate goes to Dr. Nidhi Gupta, who honestly and sincerely made efforts to organize both the programs of iSpell CG Forum. And your contribution is really has been valuable. The selection of topics, selection of resource persons, and making the students come forward to cooperate with us, and that's how facilitating them to elevate. You have really made sincere efforts. So this certificate of appreciation goes to the event coordinator of this month, Dr. Nidhi Gupta. Nidhi, please accept it and oblige us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I am really feeling very honored to coordinate this event. Thank you so much.
I must appreciate the efforts of all the team members, president, convener. Of course, I would fail in my duty if I don't remember Dr. Ghanshyam, who is the founder of this forum. And it is his brainchild, this forum, and it's running well. It is organizing the program nicely every month. So we look forward to many such programs and cooperation from all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you to Nurul also for all the technical support, which he always gives voluntarily. And again, he is also my student, and I am proud of him. Yes, Apurva, please continue.
Hello. Hello.
Nidhi, please continue. I think Apurva has some technical issues. So,
Okay, ma'am.
okay, she has joined. You please
Now,
continue.
as the quality coordinator of today's session, and I propose a vote of thanks. Oh, ma'am.
A very good evening to one and all. I am feeling honored to propose a vote of thanks of today's literary event of ISPEL, of which motto is to facilitate, to elevate. Here, my first and foremost duty is to thank the four pillars whom I refer to as the four wheels of ISPEL when Dr. J. Ghanshyam, the founder and general secretary, Dr. Kirti Tiwari ma'am, patron, ISPEL CG Forum, Dr. Harpreet Kaur Gachha ma'am, president, ISPEL CG Forum, Dr. Ashna Singh ma'am, convener, ISPEL CG Forum. You all have made a very great attempt, and you all are the guiding force of all these ISPEL events. Thank you, all of you. My sincere thanks to Dr. Shruti Jha ma'am, the chief speaker, for her excellent and profound presentation. Ma'am, it was really very provoking session. You have told how communication plays a great role in the success of a person. You have dealt with all aspects of communication. Thank you very much. I am
Thank
thankful.
you.
I am thankful to Dr. Professor Nirmala Hadar ma'am, the chairperson, for chairing the event so effectively. She has summed up very well. She has presented her own points. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my gratitude to Miss Apurva Dharanath, the master of ceremony, for moderating the session with great competence. For this, I am thankful to Dr. Kirti Tiwari ma'am, who has given us such a sweet and wonderful moderator. Thank you, Kirti ma'am. I thank Nurul Hoda, the host, for his consistent technical support. He has always walked behind the curtain. Thank you, Nurul. I extend my thanks to all the professors, scholars, and students who have attended the session and made it successful. I thank whole ISPEL CG Forum. Thank you each and everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much and congratulations. Good night
Thank
to
you, ma'am.
all of you.
Good night, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank you, Nidhi madam, for
everyone.
motivating me. I was not ready because exams are going on, but she motivated me that you switch off the duty of 25th